Hey y'all, welcome to Hurt and Healing Podcast, where stories are spoken and pain is acknowledged. And I'm gonna let my guest introduce himself.
How you doing? I am Chief Moonhawk here. I go by the name of Chief. It's a pleasure to be on the Hurt and what's his name?
Hurt and Healing.
Hurt and Healing Podcast.
Yes, so y'all, this is new. This is the first episode, so thank you for coming out to my first podcast. I really appreciate it. He was the first person that reached out, so love that. And you ready to get right into it? I'm ready
Absolutely.
to start asking some questions.
Absolutely. Come on.
Okay, so how would you describe your childhood?
The way I'll describe my childhood is yin and yang. That's the best way I can put it, because in the beginning of my childhood, it was two-parent household.
Mm-hmm.
It was structure. It was love. It was discipline. It was community. And then right around, I'll say 10, 11, that's when things shifted. Families split. This the same time where economy went bad, so money's bad. We in the poverty, we in the hood. So that really changed it for me, because now I go out of an environment of love and unity and can, protection. Now is every man to himself.
Right, totally different.
Right.
So you had to adjust to that.
Yeah, major adjustment for me.
Okay. I would say my childhood, I live in two-parent household, so
Right.
I can't say like it was a struggle or anything lack. I have a lot of siblings, so it's a lot of ways, but for the most part, it was good. I mean, besides of course other issues, but we're gonna get to that
Right.
later on. Now I don't want to get right into it at the beginning.
Right.
By the way, y'all, I'm sorry, since it's my first episode, I did forget the affirmation of the day. The affirmation of the day would be, I am not defined by what I've been through. So that's going to be the affirmation for today.
Right, that's amazing.
Yes, we're going to get right into it too with some of these questions. Okay, so what did home mean to you growing up? So since you did say that it was like a split, like first it was this way and then it changed, how was it once that changed? Like I know you had to adjust to it, and as a child, because how old were you like when this happened?
When it really synced into me, I was 9. You're 9 years old.
Yeah, pretty young. So
right.
That's a lot to adjust to. And as a child, you're used to both parents being in the home, that structure. So do you feel like it was still structure, like, in the home, or do you feel like...
No structure. Once my dad left, my mother, they parted ways. I still had my grandfather, I still had uncles, I still had male figures around, but they wasn't like directly in my household every day.
Yeah.
So they wasn't able to rear me up as I should have. My grandma and the mothers did the best. Like they put me in church around, certain people, but it's different because they not my father.
Yeah, true. And I was just gonna say, because I was thinking about that. So you was kind of like, I'm gonna do my own thing, like, because some people don't take like their grandmother or their mother as serious as they would take their father. Because fathers most of the time like more like strict and stern,
more disciplinary. Of course.
Yeah.
So me, I would say I listened to my mothers, but I didn't always think their viewpoint or vision was right. So I said, well, I'm different. Let me go try things on my own. You feel me? So that was a negative in a lot of ways, because I had to go touch the stove for me to know it's hot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And since instead of like learning, hey, the stove is hot, don't do that.
Right. You had to go see for yourself. You had to learn the hard way.
Right. My father told me it was hot, so
yeah.
let me go touch it.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, did you feel like heard as a child?
Yes, I definitely felt heard. Now, listen to no. So that's different. Most people view being heard and listened to are two different things. Being heard is just somebody acknowledging
that you're speaking.
You're speaking, but listen to no.
Yeah, they're not actually hearing you. Like they're not listening to nothing you're saying.
Right. So I grew up in a household where like, what the elders said was right. And me being a very smart child, very intelligent as a child, I always figure like, nah, that don't sound right to me. That don't seem reasonable. And I could have been a kid, but now as an adult now, growing adult,
understand.
I said, okay, cool. If even with my mindset back then as a kid, I figured out and I knew now that wasn't the best avenue to go toward or the best decision my parents should have made.
Right.
I knew right from wrong. I knew, okay, they made bad decisions as a kid. Most kids don't know their parents are making bad decisions. bad choices over their family. I knew. I'm like, yeah, this don't make sense. This don't.
Like, this not
not
right.
It's not adding up.
Yeah.
Mother and father, you're arguing. There's bickering. There's no structure, no unity. We put down each other. I'm hearing it in the household. So I'm like, I knew that wasn't right, and I figured, okay, well, let me not do that. And it made me more rebellious because I was heard, but I wasn't listened to. And I think that in our culture, in our community, we should do better with listening to the kids. Don't just get them out, listen to them.
And most of the time, especially in Black households, is, stand in a child's place, or they don't feel, most parents and guardians, they'll feel attacked. Like, once you do want to say how you really feel, or, express, like, your feelings. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Why do you think that is, though?
You know what? I don't know. I feel like it's just been passed down. It's normalized. I mean,
passed down from where though? Like, what did that start from?
I couldn't say. I mean, what you think?
I contributed to slavery. I contributed to the Jim Crow era where,
you wasn't allowed to
voice your
speak
opinion.
up.
You weren't allowed to
speak
up. So I think that we still hold trauma from 100 years ago. 200 years ago.
Yeah.
And now we have the technology, we have the resources. We shouldn't be continuing the same process of past, but we still do. So I think these conversations are important. So the ones who need to hear and understand, hey, there's a different type of parenting that needs to go on. There's a different type of community sense that needs to go on. We should look further into that and stop going to bad traditions, because not all traditions are good traditions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's true. I think that, that's a great question. And before we can answer it, we got to look deep.
Figure out the root of the problem. Yeah. Where it came from, where did it start? I mean, and it can, like, people can change that. That's another thing I want to say too. Like, a lot of people love to blame, like, their childhood and what they went through. I mean, that's okay. Like, you acknowledged it, you know what happened, you know where it's stemming from. But I feel like at some point, like, as an adult, you should be like, okay, like, what do I want to happen? Like, what change do I want? How can I switch this around? Because you can't keep walking around saying, hey, like, my mom did this to me, my dad did that. I mean, I feel for you. Right. I mean, everybody had, their situations, but it's just like, okay, what are you going to do next? Are you going to continue living on your life saying, hey, like, this is what happened, my mom did this? Like, you're old enough now, you make your own decisions.
Right.
So how do you feel about that?
What you just said, as a grown adult, you can't keep using your childhood as a scapegoat.
Yeah.
So me, I did a lot of things wrong I ain't proud of. And I went through a lot of different phases as a kid, to adolescent, to a teenager, to now an adult. So I went through different aspects of my life to where I was outside. I was a stud. I was a book nerd. I was an athlete. I was a loner, and then I became a community man. So me going through these phases, what you just said, I'm not beholden to my past. I don't hold into my past. I know my past isn't my future. I'm not destined to repeat it because I have the knowledge and I have the know-how to do different. Right. So me going through that, I try to inspire him to bring other young men like, hey, bro, we came from the same area, we came from the same environment. Right. Our parents both did bad, but let's not hold on to that. Let's not say, well, I'm going to be bad forever because my dad left me at 2 years old. Right.
Don't be a product to your environment.
Absolutely.
I feel like you can get out of it. If you really want to get out of it, you're going to do what you have to do to get out of it.
Now, question. How do you think we should gear people towards getting out of it when they can't use that as an excuse? Like, we're saying, hey, we're not going to use your past as an excuse. What avenues, what tools?
What steps should they take?
Yeah, should you take to get out of that poverty or lackluster mindset?
Right. I mean, I would say, like we were talking about a couple minutes ago, first figuring out, like, where did it come from? Where did it stem from? And then figure out, like, what can you do differently? I mean, as far as, like, steps you should take, I would say start off by maybe journaling. I know a lot of people don't really care too much about journaling or even therapy, because I do recommend therapy. Even, like, in the Black community, they brush off therapy. I don't need therapy. I don't know that person. They don't know me. While I'm talking to them, like, therapy, journaling, on the spiritual side, if you believe in that, praying, people meditate, just do different things to kind of at least lead you towards, that change. So what you think? Like, how you feel about that?
I think the steps that we should take are, one, addressing the problem. So, like you said, if your way of addressing the problem is writing and journaling. You need to address what was the initial issue to why you the way you act now. Hey, I didn't have a good upbringing in the household. Mother and father were bad. Cool. So now we know everything comes from that. We're still outside of that. Cool. Now we say, let's build a better relationship with those family members. If you can. Because you got to heal those old wounds.
Step by step.
And now, after that, let's start addressing your own wounds. How do you act? How do you portray yourself? What issues can you work on? Like, it should be a step-by-step process. It may take 2 years. It may take 5 years. I think as people, we're always going to grow. We're always going to excel and accelerate. Right. So it's a lifelong process of progressing and growing. But I think that we should chronologize our steps to heal. So we don't bleed on people. You feel me?
Yes.
Because
that's real.
Hurt people.
No, for real.
We know that hurt people. And,
hey.
You know, and when people won't help, but they don't want to do the work. So they'll bleed their problems on you. You feel me? So, I'm going through such and such. All right, cool. I need some money. All right, you give me the money, but I'm saying, hey, if you go get a job, you apply yourself, or you go to this school and you go to this program, you can stop asking me for money and you can do it for self. Well, I don't want to do that. Nobody's going to do that.
A lot of people don't want to do for self, and that's the problem. Sometimes you got to let people, be independent.
But they say if you do that, you're a bad person because you're not helping people out.
You just got to be, sometimes you got to be the villain in people's stories. Sometimes you just have
That's
to
the word of the day. You got to be the villain.
Sometimes you have to be the villain.
Absolutely.
And that's coming from somebody that used to be a people pleaser. So, hey. Okay, so I did ask that question already. Do you feel like, I feel like this kind of ties together because I asked you, did you feel heard? I was going to say, like, do you feel like you was given space to, like, talk about, like, how you feel?
Not really. So I was heard, like, as a kid, I would say, as a kid, as an adolescent under age of 13, I've had an issue. I was able to voice my opinion or voice my thoughts, but they wouldn't listen to me. Until I got older and I got bigger. You feel me? So when I started working out, when I started playing sports, I started going through growth spurts as a young man. Then they're making space for me because I'm physically bigger, I'm physically stronger. So now, like, in a kind of a way, now they take me serious.
Kind of force them? They force them to kind of,
Yeah, now they take me serious. You feel me? And then with that triggered me to say, maybe if I want to be heard, maybe I should be a bully, or maybe I should be over domineering, maybe I should be aggressive. Because that was a solution to me.
The only way they took you serious, or
if I was aggressive.
Wow.
So that makes sense. So now, all right, cool. Now I'm the aggressive 14, 15-year-old.
Acting out, doing whatever I gotta do,
exactly.
So y'all know. Like,
you gonna hear me.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
That turned into fighting, that turned into gangs, that turned into the street, that turned into going to juvenile, that turned into being on probation, that turned into community service, that turned into a mirage of things I had to deal with because I view aggression as the end all be all. When if I would have had proper spaces and proper people in part, they would have told me, young man, aggression is a great tool if you know how to use it right.
Yeah.
But aggression isn't how you should maneuver your life around your life. Feel me? So I would have learned, okay, cool. Cooler heads prevail. Learning how to be calm. Learning how to know every situation doesn't need a reaction. Every reaction doesn't need something. So learning how to work with individuals and stop saying, hey, if they don't do it, I'm going to make them do it. Because it's not the way. But that's how I was taught. Like, I work like, okay, cool. If I want something done, I got to be aggressive. I got to make them do something. Because that's the only way they will take me serious. Not knowing I'm a clown. I was a clown, acting up. Everybody can see, that person has childhood trauma. He's acting up. I'm thinking I'm tough.
What's going on at home?
I'm thinking I'm tough to the fake gangster kids. But the rest of the world is like, nah, he's a clown. He don't know how to regulate his emotions properly as an invoice, so they acting out in aggression is the problem, is the answer.
Yeah.
When it wasn't the answer.
Right. Learn how to control those emotions and stuff. Okay. Let's see. So, what did you do as a child, like, to cope with things? Like, when you felt overwhelmed, Would that tie back into it? Like,
yeah, so
is it like going to the streets, fighting?
yeah, me that was my answer.
That was coping.
My coping was aggression. So I said the way I could be aggressive was like getting to the streets. So we was already in poverty.
Mm-hmm.
So we was already going through economic crisis in our own home. Yeah. So it wasn't a hard avenue for me to get in the streets because I'm outside and the streets is right there.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
And drugs, it's gangs, it's violent. I came in early. We already poor, so my first thing was to take and steal from people. Mm-hmm. Right? Unfortunately, how we grew up, like what I heard was, man, you can't go earn, you gotta go take it. Mm-hmm. So I took that in consideration, like, man, I ain't got no money. I'm a kid, I can't get a job. I gotta go take from others. Or I gotta go sell drugs. I gotta go do things illegally, which led me to like me being heard. Cause now, if you're in the street, if you more loud, you more belligerent, you more crazy than the next man, people will listen to you. Yeah. They go, oh, she crazy.
Yeah, you boss man around there. Yeah.
So I figured that if I'm gonna be anybody, I gotta be more aggressive. I gotta be more hard than anybody else in the world around me. So that turned me. I gotta do more fighting. Right. I gotta do more leading. I gotta do more licks. I gotta get. You feel me? Because that's what how I hurt my name. That's how people respect me. Yeah. And then not knowing like I'm getting played because I'm taking all the hard work. So when everything go wrong, I'm going to jail. Yeah. I'm getting shot at. I'm getting kicked out of school. I'm getting suspended. So how I say in 2020, like, I was able to look at it like, you know what, a lot of the things that I went through, it prepared me for who I am today. You feel me? So I'm not beholden to it. Yeah. And it took me a minute because, you know, I would say when you go through going through a bunch of crises, and then the streets was like my coping mechanism. Mm-hmm. So having that as my coping mechanism, anytime I feel like I wasn't doing right or life wasn't going right, I said I'm gonna go back to the streets.
Cause hey, everything going right here, you know, stuff moves smooth. So yeah,
I know how to make it work.
Yeah.
But then that was all you knew. That's all I knew. So now you coming on the door and understanding, hey, I can't go back to that, even though it's like my default setting. Mm-hmm. I have to create a new default setting. Yeah. Knowing that okay, life don't have to go right. Life isn't gonna go right all the time in my favor. So I have to learn to be okay with that. Yeah. I can't change everything overnight. Yeah. So I had to understand, hey, I'm going through something right now. Right. It doesn't determine that, I need to go back to the streets to go fix it now. No, I work anything I want to for myself. I work for it. I would take out an ad. You feel me? It's just gonna work. So learning that, you know,
kind of helped you get through that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when did you feel like when did you really like realize like, hey, like this is not the way to go? Was it at a very young age, or did it take like a drastic thing to happen for you to be like, hey, this is not it?
Yeah. So I went through a lot of issues, like, and the last one was I knew it was over with for me was I had to go to jail at 19. Right. I was the same year 2020. I was about to graduate, go to boot camp for Marine Corps and get accepted tattoo wearing. So I say I was angry, so I went back to the street because my default coping mechanism. Yeah. So I'm back in the streets. It's COVID time, everything shut down. I'm in the streets full fledged, heavy again, and what really took me to understand like I was done. I went to jail that year, and that really put everything into perspective. Like, man, this is my life right now. Right. It was fun and games, but now it's not. My freedom on the line, my life on the line, and then we had to fight that charge for almost 2 years, and then go to probation, and but the main thing was going to jail, and then later that year, at the end of the year, I was getting shot up. So that was a major thing for me. Yeah. Like, some people, if I was younger, I would have used that as a fuel to get further in the streets. Yeah, like, but I was at the end of my road of the streets because I got out of jail. I just enrolled to trade school. Mm-hmm. I started having opportunities doing acting and going into doing documentaries with Japanese networks, and then started filming a little bit with Killer Mike.
That's good.
So at that point, I was done with the streets.
Yeah.
And then my house get shot up.
Right. It's like, man, I'm just now getting things in order, you know.
Man, that was the hardest thing I had to deal with because my people was home, my family was home. So they had to deal with it. They had to deal with it as well. And then me having to learn, man, do I really go back into the streets and go get street justice? Or do I say, let bygones be bygones and continue to move forward in my life? So I dealt with that. And ultimately, I let bygones be bygones. Because I know I did a lot in the streets that, you know, I was able to elude, so I can't get mad when it happened to me, or vice versa when things happen. So I took it on the chin and I said, you know what, this is the end of everything. Right. It's time to move on. It's time to move forward. So that was like my catalyst, like boom, something drastic had happened to me for me to stop playing in and out on the streets. After that, I've been.
It's fed up.
Yeah, I was fed up.
Okay. Okay, so what do you feel like you needed the most growing up? I feel like some of these tie together though.
What I needed the most was I needed a brotherhood. I needed a positive version of what brotherhood was, and because I had siblings, but a lot of my siblings weren't as close as we could have been, we should have been, right? Just because of upbringing, you worried about survival. It puts everybody into survival mode. So I don't blame none of my family members for having to be in survival mode. That was just the thing at the time. But for me, for the type of child I was, the type of person I am, I needed a positive version of what brotherhood was. So that could have been Boy Scouts. You feel me? It could have been. It ended up becoming football for me. I needed a structure of being boys around me who doing the same thing at the same time, so we can bond. And I think that as young black men, men in general, I think we have to gear our young men to say, hey, brotherhood isn't wrong. But let's do it in a positive version. Right. You feel me? So I think now, you know, me being who I am, being a chief and being more towards tribalism and my traditions, my culture, I'm setting aside our traditions and creating a brotherhood. So when we have young men, we got young warriors, and we call them. My job is to teach them up, like, hey, brotherhood is okay. Just don't look for it outside. Yeah. We have a family. We have a men's traditions and ceremony that we do to welcome you to manhood because you have a brotherhood. So my job now as an adult man to show men, young men in general to, hey, this is how we act, this is how we move. When you have problems, you come to the brotherhood. All right, what you going through?
Talk about it.
It's basically therapy for men when I go to therapy. Because
kind of like a support system.
Absolutely. I think we need that as men, and we don't have that. So we're so more conditioned to be loners, or we got to take it on the chin. Yeah. Not knowing that it messes up mentally. And it's not normal. It's
normalized because you got to be strong. Yeah. You got to be the man of the household. But it's like, man, at the end of the day, you're still human. And we all have the same emotions, same feelings. We all go through it. So it's like, it's nothing wrong with talking about it. Let it out.
Yeah, I think that. And the best way we could do now, because you know a lot of our community is bad, or a lot of the younger community right now is going through a lot. The young dude, they got YN title.
Yeah, they need more guidance.
They need more guidance.
There's no guidance at all.
What they need a positive version of brotherhood. They have to earn their manhood. They have to earn their keep. They should be parameters. There should be a skill set or a test to say, hey, at this age, you need to do this to earn your stripes as a young adult, as a young man. I think that's what we miss it as a man, so we can be positive men in the community. So, for example, my grandfather, when he was growing up, the young boys, there was many taught from their father, their uncle, their cousin. You come with me, you working at 9 years old, you be an electrician, being a plumber, you be a carpenter, like you starting them early on into having these skills and being around with men, learning what it takes to be a productive man, what it takes to be a father, a husband, a brother, a community man. We lost that in all sense because we don't have a positive brotherhood.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so let's see. What is something you feel like you had to unlearn? So now that you're an adult, like something you did as a child where you had to, you know.
The biggest thing I learned was a poverty mindset. I was, being in poverty really changes your whole mindset. So I always stuck on survival. You know what I'm saying? Spirit, like just getting by.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do just enough to get by because I can survive.
Right.
It's a poverty mindset.
Yeah.
And you can't create wealth. You can't be a community man. You can't be a positive man for your community or yourself if you stuck in poverty. Because being a man, it means to extend yourself. So if you're saying you're okay with limiting yourself to just bear, then guess what? You can't be who you are supposed to be. So I learned that I learned poverty. Like, hey, stop moving in scarcity mindset. Learning to be okay with the finer things in life. Learning to have broader my mindset, which needed to. I had to read. I had to read more. I had to associate myself with better people who was where I wanted to be at. So learning that. Matter of fact, learning poverty mindset was a key thing that I had to do. I think all people who lived in poverty, grew up in poverty, you should unlearn a poverty mindset.
Because you'll get far. If you don't unlearn it, you're going to stay in the same spot. You're just going to be stuck.
That's it.
Okay. Do you feel like your childhood, well, that's not a good question to ask. Let me see.
No, ask it.
Well, I was going to say, do you feel like your childhood experience affected your mental health?
Absolutely.
But I mean,
that's a great one. We can talk about that. So, my childhood experience really affected my mental health because, for me, it did me a positive. I would say what more than me was going through poverty, going through chaos, going through uncertainty at an early age. It taught me how to endure a lot. So what most people will break at, I never broke because I just learned how to deal with so much.
Got that tough skin.
It had to, but then on the trick side is it makes me less emotionally available to other people because my mind, I'm like vulnerable. Yeah, my mind, I'm like I dealt with it. Why you can't deal with it? You feel me? So it was a positive for me because it helped me allow me to go through a span of life that wasn't meant for a lot of people out there to beat it. You feel beat life in a lot of aspects. But on the other hand, it taught me like I really don't have too much sympathy for people as I should have. The next person. Right, because I'm like, hey, I've been through way more. Right, you can do it. Why are you crying about it?
Yeah, I mean.
So that makes sense. And that's why also I'm learning a poverty mindset now. I gotta be sympathetic. I gotta be empathetic to people because everybody doesn't have the mindset that I have. Everybody doesn't have the tenacity or the wherewithal to endure as much as I endured. So now I'm like, you know what? Let me be sympathetic, empathetic to everybody's situation so that we can connect on a deeper level. Yeah, and it's good for both parties. Right.
Okay, so what's something you would tell your younger self?
Ooh. I'll tell my younger self a lot of things. I would say, don't get in the streets at all.
Don't do it.
Don't do that. Very, very don't of myself. I would say, don't be a follower. Yeah. Don't be a follower. So don't go in the streets and don't be a follower. Since I was looking for a brotherhood in the community sense I didn't have, I was a follower. So I followed the next person who I thought who had it.
Yeah, what you thought was right. I mean,
and guess what? That was the dope boy who had all the money in my hood. He was an older cat. He had a son. I was be at his house. He would teach him the game. He showed me, okay, I'm saying 20, 30,000 cash. Hey, 11, 20 years old.
You see what he's doing to get it. And he's making it look like it's, the way to go.
Right, so I would say don't be a follower, have my own mindset. And don't join the streets. So because I seen it, because my brothers, they didn't go to the same avenue that I went down. So they had a stronger mindset than me to say, okay, cool, this cool in the hood, we don't gotta be at from the hood.
Yeah, product to your environment.
Right. So they wasn't a product of the environment. So hindsight 2020, if they could do it, I could do it too.
Yeah.
I was lazy in the aspect of where I succumbed to my environment. My environment was hood, I became hood.
Right, and like you said, it was probably just that mindset too. It's like, listen.
Yeah.
Hey, it is what it is. Like you said, it's working, so why not? Yeah. Right.
But I think that's where the father should have been around. It's where the community, like we have to build, not because fathers pass, fathers pass, uncles pass. So I think the main job is to say we need a community. We have to build community.
So the younger generation can have somebody to go to for that.
Right, because guess what? You back then, that little boy might not have a father. But his neighbor, his son, the kid, he got a father, and get what?
Right.
His job is to step in, hey, you can't
be that father figure.
Absolutely. So it takes strong men in the community to say enough is enough. Right,
to step in and be like, listen. And that's what I was thinking too. Like, I wonder if it's still like the OGs. Like, you know, you had OGs that would tell you, look, this not the way to go. But it's like now they in the streets too.
You don't have it. I'm gonna say this right because I came out of the streets 6-7 years ago. So with that being said, you have older heads. You don't have OGs because you can't. The younger generation is so wild, so rambunctious, so violent. You think, like for me, example, if I try to go back into the hood, like and preach to them and tell them to do it,
they're not hearing it.
They're not hearing it, or they're gonna look at me as an enemy. So they're gonna be like, man, I ain't listen to Unc. I ain't listen to Big Bro. You feel me? Let me go take him down. So they'll rob me for listen, right now, they'll rob you for telling the truth. They'll kill you for telling the truth. For showing them there's a different way. So unfortunately, at a certain age, you gotta let life play out. So if they're over 14, life gotta play out. A lot of times you can guide them, but
they still gonna go whatever way they want to go.
Right now they killing the old head. They killing the OGs. Yeah. Just trying to tell them. And you don't have OG. You're not supposed to have OGs in the streets. So you got someone who try to come back and to teach the proper way or improper way. A lot of times, if you made out the streets and you're an older man, you're
away from the streets. Yeah, you in the house.
My job isn't to try to go back because now if I go back into the streets, I can get caught up in RICO. I can get caught up in gang issues. I can get caught up in street politics. You feel me? Because just that quick.
Okay, so how do you show up for yourself now? Like, what are some things that you do to help, like, you mentally? Like,
ooh, okay. So you asked me 2 questions. How do I show up for myself now? I show up with pride and dignity. So me understanding who I am now, I think it's important of how I present myself. So I would like to present myself as well-read, as knowledgeable, as somebody who went through past but has overcame it. So I dress the way I dress, I talk the way I talk, I recite the things that I do recite because I think that's how I should come up how I should come up and be addressed. So I present myself that way. What was the other question?
What was the other question? How do you show up for yourself and what do you do differently, like now that you're older?
Yeah,
like I was basically stay next to the same.
Okay, what I do now is I really just pick the behind me. I'm going outside. I'm playing basketball in the morning, 2 hours every day. Or going for a run. I'm going working out. I'm reading books. I'm reading PDFs. Listening to positive podcast figures. You feel me? I really surround myself with good people.
Right.
Good people, good energy, people who can teach me something in a positive way. I don't want to learn a bunch of crack. You feel me? I already did that. So now, for me, I'm more so focused on, okay, what am I learning? What am I entertaining? Who am I being around? Am I being fed?
Right, you want to gain some knowledge.
Right, the proper way. I don't want to learn about the gossip. We know gossip. We know what's going on. They ain't helping us out at all. Okay. So let me focus on, okay, how can I be better for me, myself? How can I do better for my community? Because at the end of the day, it's all about community.
Right. I feel like that's a good thing because a lot of people, they're not worried about that. They're not worried about the community. They're not worried about, making things better, like, for the community in general. But, let's see.
Greed. Let's talk about that because it's the greed. We have been so succumbed to capitalism that we done turned selfish.
It's all me.
Me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get rich.
But little do you know, if you make those connections with people and you help others and you get out there, you'll be even further than where you are now.
Absolutely. There's a saying saying, I forgot how it goes, but I think I can go faster alone. I can go further with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned that I can go fast. I can reach a lot of milestones on my own.
Right, so. Mm-hmm.
But guess what? I'm not doing anybody a service.
Right.
I'm not reaching back to my people and saying, hey, we can all do it. We can all get better. We can all do more for ourselves in our community. So it takes time. So I had to learn patience. I had to learn to relax, slow down, join other people, learn, I don't got to create the wheel. So learning to gather other people, we have to set goals. Let's all incorporate our goals and ideas and let's push those out as a unit, as a collective, so we can all get where we got to go. So I'm not selfish anymore. I learned to be selfless. And I think that's the only way you should be for our people in general.
Okay, and the last question I want to ask you is, like, what's something you would do differently, like, with your children? Like, what are some things that you would do to make sure they don't do the same things you do?
Right.
And that they feel seen and heard?
I would say start from the very beginning. So the very first thing I should do and I could do is by what? Marrying the right woman. Right? Mm-hmm. Marry the right woman, don't have kids out of wedlock, don't have a bunch of kids. So that sets the tone of who I am and the basis of what I am. So find the right woman, marry the right woman, having structure, having dealt with my problems, my childhood traumas on my own prior to having kids.
Right.
So I can come into the system of marriage and familyhood of knowing that, okay, I can focus on the kids and
not kind of on the clean slate.
Yeah, so
because like you said, you're gonna be basically bleeding on your kids. And it's just gonna pass down.
They're like, oh my daddy,
it's gonna trickle down, yeah.
No, we ain't gonna do all that. So now I'm taking my time. I'm being patient. I'm making sure I'm doing things the right way. Allow myself to just heal before having children, the next generation. So then, now that I have the next generation, the kid, now they're being brought up in love, nurturing, discipline, structure, rules. You know what I'm saying? So the thing they should be brought up under, because I know as men, you should know. So now I think, okay, well, now I have the blueprint. It's about, can I actualize the blueprint with the right person? And can I make sure my children, when I do have kids, they brought up in the system of that? Because it takes community, making sure, okay, whoever I decide to have children with, their family is intact. Right. Make sure, because I don't want to have a Hill household and they go to their cousin, auntie house. And now they
totally different.
They learn everything.
Different.
And then they bring it back to the house.
Yeah.
You feel me?
That makes sense.
That's why I say it's about community.
Yeah. You need that community, that village, those people around you. And like you were saying earlier, surround yourself around the right people, positive people that want the things you want. So I feel like that's a good thing to do, like you said, make sure you're marrying the right person, make sure everybody around you is kind of like on the same page.
Absolutely. What do you think about that? How do you think you should prepare the next generation, your kids? How do you think you would do different?
For me, I would definitely I want to rebuttal off the same thing you said. Of course, it's making sure it's a 2-parent household.
Right.
Meeting the right person, of course. And then, I don't know, I just want to get them a safe space. Like, I feel like a lot of kids don't have that safe space. Or they feel like I said before, you can't talk to your parents without feeling like, oh, I need to stand in a child's place.
Right.
Or just feel like you can't express yourself. So I feel like I would be way more like understanding. And just get them, the room to be themselves, the space to actually express how they feeling. Because, I feel like that'll help you understand your child more if you, get to understand him a little more instead of, how some people, like he just him, just bad, right? Trying to give him medication and stuff when really it's just all a mental thing. So, I definitely feel like, like you said, having that structure and just giving them, the room to express their emotions, their feelings. So, yeah.
I definitely agree with that for sure, wholeheartedly. And I think that when it comes down to, I would just, like you just said, having a safe space so it can be heard and listened to. You feel me? As an adult, as potential parents, you gotta understand not only to hear them out, but listen to them. Because honestly, even though their ideas might not be rational, listen to them and acquire what they have. Because guess what? They might have a different perspective on something that you could use.
Right.
So it's like, hear them out, listen to them, and then put your children in a position to where they can learn. They can learn. They can learn how to maneuver.
Yeah.
So, because you don't want to create weak children. Like you said in the beginning of the podcast, you said you struggle with being a people pleaser. So I think how to convert that or combat that as a child is putting your children in a position to where they can't vocalize themselves. So don't become people pleasers. Yeah. Because we don't want them to just say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am all the time. Yeah. Because sometimes wrong is wrong. Yeah. Adult or not. So we have to create children that's going to say, hey, I can listen to, and I can respect adult authority. But
wrong is wrong.
Wrong is wrong, and it may not be rational for me to do that. Right. So as a kid's place, I'm gonna listen to that. But no, it doesn't sound rational, and I think we shouldn't have make our kids feel scared to vocalize themselves. Make sure they do it in a respectful manner, but speak up. Yeah. Let you speak up. Don't be on people. Don't hold your tongue. Don't do it. Do it in respectful, in a kind manner as a kid should, but wrong is wrong, right is right.
Right. Definitely. So I want to close this out with, what would you tell like the younger generation? Like, what's the message that you have for
younger generation?
Women?
Oh, men.
Or advice, anything.
I would suggest, one, look for or surround yourself with good people. Two, get yourself in better environments. I know that you can't control how we brought up, where we brought up, but find different avenues that's positive. Whether it's a book reading club, whether it's chess club, whether it's drama club, whether it's, robotics, whatever club, find yourself in better avenues that you can express, especially by STEM. Right now, I'm suggesting the younger generation go into STEM. Please go into STEM. We need more STEM. So, we need lawyers, we need teachers. Go into these professions or learn outlets so you can properly vet and grow as a kid. And I would say for the younger generations, me personally, me going through sports isn't everything. Everybody not going to the NFL. Right. You're not going to the NBA. You're not going to make it to, it's just not. Yeah. You feel me? Don't make it to everything. It's not. So I think as parents, as a community, we should show them there's other avenues to be successful without just sports. And black folks, we are better than jumping around and shooting a hoop. And performing for people. Yeah. We intelligent. The industry, all of that. We can speak. We can perform in different environments. So I think we got to surround ourselves with better culture and better avenues for the young generation. Don't just think you got to succumb to your environment. Right. Don't keep yourself in that box. Absolutely. Find better avenues that you should do. And seek out better adults. Listen to adults. Listen to the ones who really trying to put your game, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's real estate, whether it's wholesaling, whether it's, anything. Just listen to positive and sound notes. That's what I want to say. I agree. It was a powerful episode for sure. Yes, great first episode. Yes. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate you was dropping them gems. I really couldn't even rebuttal too much because I was really invested. So thank you again. Thank you for having me. We're gonna talk. We got a couple more episodes coming for y'all. But thank y'all for tuning in to our first podcast. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments how y'all feel about some of the things we spoke about today.
And yeah, y'all, we'll see y'all next time.
Absolutely.
Bye. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh.
Yes, next time I'll know, right from wrong. I gotta plan out